G'day guys, first orchid video for the year. It's 2nd of March today, and pretty much going to be the same orchid video as it was this time last year. We're here at the Onketa Trailhead, Peters Creek Road, Kuitpo Forest. Last year we had come here looking for Leporella fimbriata, the hair orchid, and it was a little early in the season. But we did find Genoplesium rufum, the Rufous Midge Orchid anyway. I think I got that scientific name wrong. But yeah, we were almost exactly 12 months to the date. I think we were out here 4th of March last year. Yeah, so we're going to go for a wander along the trail today and see if they've popped up and tick them off as the first orchids of the season. Yeah, it's been really hot this year. I think I mentioned that in the last video. If one of the 70 odd people who have watched it are watching this one on the Lavender Trail, I mentioned that it's been a very hot year, and we have not had a lot of rain. As far as I know, these Genoplesium Midge Orchids are like quite drought tolerant and they'll flower regardless, but we'll see. I will keep an eye out for the hair orchids, but as I say, it's very early in the season for them, and it has been very dry, so I wouldn't expect them to be flowering in any case early on. I'm going to take the long way around to the Midge Orchids just so I can have a good look at the area. Last year we found them on the sandy trail down there, so I probably should have taken that right fork back there if I wanted to go straight to them. But yeah, no point coming out here and not having a proper look. So as usual with these videos, I'll bring you back in when I find something interesting. So not really that interesting, but just figured I'd raise it anyway. Got all the husks of the brat deces around the place here. These are a weed orchid here in South Australia from South Africa. Dicea bracteata. Yeah, lots of them. They flower a little bit later than most of our native orchids from what I've seen. And yeah, there's lots of them. Obviously well past their flowering point now. Yeah, still see there what's left of them sticking up out of the ground. Alright, haven't seen anything yet. I had a quick look in the little cut on the left hand side where I normally see the hair orchids, and you know, as expected, none there yet. And it was very dry in there as well. I have been keeping an eye on the verges of the fire track here. It's like the easiest place to see the Midge Orchids when they're up. They're not microscopic things, but they are very small as far as orchids go. Once you get your eye in, they're fairly easy to see, and they do jump out at you. But until you've seen a couple and you've kind of dialed in your vision to what you're looking for, it can be hard work. But I haven't seen any up this section of the track. I do have some records of them up here along this section, but don't always see them. We're going to turn right just after the gate up here and kind of head down into the valley down there. It's a bit sandier, and I got a bunch that I saw last year on the right hand side of the track, so yeah, we'll see if they're there again. This is probably going to be a real quick video because I'm not really anticipating seeing anything else, but yeah, hopefully there'll be a couple up. Alright, so I have to admit I was getting a little concerned. I'm pretty much on top of the little pin drops I had last year. I have found one. It's not quite flowering yet. It's in bud. Just here. It's not too far off. Like those bottom ones look like they're not far off opening. Maybe a week or so. Is the only one I've been able to lay eyes on so far. As I mentioned before, it's literally right on the edge of the track. So track edge is here, and then that's where the plant is. That one anyway. And I think it's not that they don't grow in the thick scrub, it's just that it's easier to see them on this slightly cleared bank of the fire break. Yeah, so I got that one there. Gonna keep wandering along this section slowly and just see if I can see any others. Big pile of horse shit here, which is lovely. I do have 3 pin drops in this immediate section, and I'm pretty sure there was probably a dozen or so individual plants here last year. So hopefully we'll be able to see some more of those. Alright, I'm going to put the camera down and keep looking for a little bit. Alrighty, so I have found another one. It looks like they are all going to be just in bud here at the moment, so it's not much to look at, but I'll flip you around and show you anyway. So that's it there. Still very early on that one. So yeah, I'm not sure how much luck we're actually going to have finding any in flower today. You know, it's always a long shot when you come out right on the very, very leading edge of a season. What I might do is head back up to where the gate was. There's a heap of pin drops, not of mine, but from other people up there. So we'll have a look back up there and see if there's any of those ones in flower. I kind of just breezed straight past it, thinking there wasn't anything up there. Obviously there is, because yeah, 2 out of 3 of my pin drops here have had buds up, which I guess is a good sign in a way. They're just not quite as far along as I might have hoped. And that's all it really was. It genuinely was a hope. Yeah, alright, that's going to be the play. I'm going to reverse my direction along this loop, go back up to that gate and investigate some of those pins and see how we go. Yeah. Alright, I'll bring you back in. I'm only like 2 minutes away from up there, so I'll bring you back in when we get up there and see what we can find. Just bring you back in. I haven't actually moved away from this spot yet. Was just taking some photos for iNaturalist and having another bit of a look around here, just see if I could see any others. I did find another one, again right at the bud stage in the undergrowth here. So yeah, still a ways off yet. These guys flowering, but promising signs that they are actually going to flower soon. So no, I always say it, but I'll definitely make an effort to get back down here when they're flowering. I still think it's good to document them at this stage, particularly on iNaturalist, like, because you can add the stage of life they're at into the observations. Now, granted, I'm a little bit lazy and I don't do that myself, but there is dedicated orchid observers who seem to go through observations and add them as they go, as they you know, upgrade observations to research grade and stuff like that. They seem to add, whether it's in bud, flower, fruit, etc., etc. And if I remember to do it, I do. You don't actually seem to be able to do it on the mobile app at the time of upload. You actually have to go back and add it in subsequently. Anyway, obviously now we're on our way back up to the gate area, and we'll see what those pin drops are doing. See if there's any buds or flowers or anything at all. I'll see when we get back up there. Alrighty, we're back in the gate area here. There's a little cluster of 3 pins pretty much, you know, within 10-15 meters of the gate here. One of them is almost right on the post in this area. But I can't see a shoot anywhere. It's not to say it's not here. I always like to add this disclaimer. It's just that I can't see it, or perhaps it hasn't popped up yet. See, the soil composition up here is a little different to what it is down in the gully. Like, you got that white sand down in the gully, and up here it's pretty much this gravelly sort of redder dirt. So that could very well impact like flowering time and stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to say at the moment that I can't see them up here, and very unlikely that they're going to be full-blown flowers anyway. So I think we might call it for this spot for the time being. And I might actually duck over to Macclesfield, which is another reliable spot for Midge Orchids for me. There is records of them at Cox Scrub, which isn't far from here either. But potentially that's, you know, a reasonable amount of walking to not actually find any. Whereas Macclesfield is a much more, put it this way, I've never found them at Cox Scrub myself. I haven't looked either, so I don't know the spots. Whereas at Macclesfield, I've got a pretty good idea where they're going to pop up. And I could pretty much drive straight to it. So we might head over there and just see if we can get some in flower for this video. See what happens. Alrighty guys, welcome back. Just made a quick hop over to Macclesfield here. We're in the quarry. I've done a number of videos up here. Normally I don't drive up here, but I have today. Track's pretty chopped out. But you know, got up here fairly easily, no troubles at all for the cruiser. So this is it's an always reliable spot for Genoplesium, as long as they're actually up in flower. We're going to go for a walk. Basically, I think there's 3 little quarried out areas here. There's 2 big ones, a little one, and there's a car park down the bottom. So there's a little one over the edge, and we've got this little one down here in front of us, and then this is the main quarry area up here. And this is where I would normally find these orchids in reasonable numbers. So we're just going to go for a stroll around the edge here. Tend to find them flowering in these little like mounds of whatever this stuff is. I'm not good with whatever that is, but it forms these little islands of vegetation in an otherwise barren sort of rocky car park type area. Now obviously we still have the Brachydiceas here as well. It is pretty dry up here, obviously, as expected. Hasn't rained here either. Hasn't rained at Mount Barker. Hasn't rained anywhere. But I'm hoping they're normally up quite early here. I can't see any at the moment. If you don't like heights, this probably is not the spot for you. Fair way down there. this grass. Yeah, everything is real toasty here at the moment. Actually not liking my chances. Last year I'm pretty sure I found a pretty good group in here. But again, nothing catching my eye right at this moment. What I might do is put you down for a little bit, just so I can have a proper look, and I'll bring you back in when if I find anything. Alright, I've had a bit of a wander around to the normal spots I find them, and I haven't seen any. So I might just call this a bit of a failed expedition. We found a couple of, the 3 buds out at the Onketa Trail, so obviously the season's just pushed back a little bit this year. Obviously I am a couple of days earlier than I was last year, so you know, maybe we'll revisit this in a couple of weeks time and yeah, see a few up. Look, leave a like if you enjoyed me wandering around finding nothing, dislike if you don't, and I'll see you in the next one. Hooroo guys.